So today I'm going to be going over my internal linking SOP for my own clients and also for my own websites. Now, I recently done a video on why websites don't rank, and actually doing the internal linking strategy is actually one part of your SEO campaign. So a lot of people think that they need backlinks, or a lot of people think that they need more content on their website, but in some cases you might actually have the most amount of backlinks. You might have a lot of topical authority, so a lot of documents on your website, but your actual internal linking isn't the best. Now, I've actually made this sheet. This is what I use for my clients and also for my own websites when I'm trying to rank them and stuff. And this sheet you can obviously download for yourself. The link for this is down in the description. What you will just need to do is, once you get the sheet yourself, just click on file and then make a copy so you're actually able to edit it. Hey, very quickly, if you want results like this dental practice, for example, we took the website from 0 monthly visits in November, and they are now getting over 750 monthly visits through to their website. They're actually able to generate their own inquiries for the business, and they aren't relying on third-party agencies to generate them leads like they were before, or this law firm that we were able to take from 1,100 to just over 2,000 monthly visits through to their website, as you can see from the graph, or this e-commerce store where we were able to grow them from 7,500 to just over 30,000 monthly visits to their website, and it's generating a lot of sales through to their e-com store. If you want results like that, make certain to check out casualdash.com. The link is in the description. Fill out the form, see if my team can help. If I feel like SEO isn't suitable for your business, I can also guide you on where you should be spending your marketing budget. But back to the video. Now, I'm going to be going over all of the different reasons why I've included certain things. Now, one thing to bear in mind is obviously there is a wide spectrum of you guys that watch these videos. So some of you guys might have e-commerce stores. Some of you guys might have SaaS websites. Some of you guys might have a local business and you're trying to rank locally. So not everything in this checklist applies to you, but in some cases, a lot of the things apply to you. In some cases, maybe 70% of the things apply to you. In some cases, maybe all of the things apply to you. So just watch this video. I'll try to give as many examples as I possibly can going through this. And also, I also have done like a live audit of a website, and we're going to be analyzing their internal linking strategy. Using Screaming Frog, this is a little bit more technical for some of you guys. So I'm sorry if you're not technical. If, say, for example, you're just a business owner wanting to learn a little bit more, maybe the first half of this video is more for you, and then the second half it might get a little bit too nerdy. But let's continue, right? So obviously everybody understands a contextual link. Every website basically has it. Like for example, if I was to just load up, let's say, we'll go with my usual example, buy vape pens online, right? So if I go to this website here, and if I click on e-liquids, let's say, so these are all contextual links, and as you can see, this is within the actual content of the actual page. It's not a nav bar link. It's not a footer link. It is actually within the content, and as you can see here, there's tons of it. So they're internally linking to their nicotine shop page, handy guide. They've got advanced devices, tobacco, e-liquids. So in this case, this website does have a lot of contextual links. One thing to bear in mind when you are doing contextual links is I would load this page up into your Google Search Console and look at all of the secondary keywords that this page is actually ranking for, and use those use those secondary phrases, or what people call LSI, so secondary keywords, as actual the anchors as well. It just means that you're not always repeating yourself. You're actually trying to rank the page for hundreds of keywords. That's what a healthy page does. A healthy page doesn't just rank for one keyword, it ranks for numerous keywords. It might be 10, it might be 100, it might be 1,000. So by using different LSIs or using secondary keywords of that page, that's the best opportunity. So like an LSI for this page might be like e-liquid or e-liquids, the plural, or buy e-liquids online. That might be another secondary keyword. So you should actually have all of your supporting articles on your website all internally linking back to this page with different variations. Then you've got place links naturally within paragraphs. So what these guys have done, to be fair, this might be a little bit too spammy for some websites. The vape industry is a little bit, but they've not done a terrible job here. As you can see, they do have a lot of internal links throughout this content. One thing to bear in mind as well, just so how Google crawls, and again, I'm not trying to get too technical here, but internal links higher up the page have more value, because how Google essentially crawls your website is it crawls from top to bottom. So when Google bot visits your website, it actually starts reading from all the way up here. Well, actually, if we want to get really technical, they actually read like the actual code. So it goes from the top all the way down to the bottom. And obviously if a link's like all the way up here, this, for example, this vampire vape link or internal link is going to have a little bit more link equity and link power than a link all the way down here. So just bear that in mind when you are doing your internal linking. Internal links higher up the page yield more value, and Google also sees them as being a little bit more important. Then you've got navigational links. Now, one thing that a lot of business owners mess up on is this, right? So they'll have their navigational links and they will think, brilliant, I have an internal link to all of my most important pages. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that navigational links, even though they are literally the highest link on the actual page, because they are on across your entire website, Google does devalue them after like a certain amount of time. So yes, they are on every single page, but this link here, for example, this internal link actually has a lot more value than this e-liquid internal link. So just bear that in mind. What I recommend when you're doing your internal linking is just internal link to pages that are good for the user. So for example, like the e-liquid page, it holds a lot of products within here, and for somebody that wants to find e-liquids, it's actually a good internal link to have. Now, for example, if I was to duplicate this and then go back to Google, and let's do lawyers in New York, because I don't want to just only focus on e-commerce stores. If we go to this law firm here, for example, they obviously link to... They obviously link to who we are. Actually, this is a little bit of a bigger website. I'll try and find like a smaller. I'll do HVAC in Los Angeles, right? Something that's a little bit more here. Yeah, okay. So, for example, these guys, they provide obviously HVAC, but they actually internal link to all of their services. So that's, again, a pretty decent place to start off when it comes to your internal linking. We can even load up like a dental website, let's say dentists in New York. When it comes to like the smaller websites, what you're probably going to be doing is you're going to be internal linking to like a lot of your services. So like this dentist practice, they do a load of like cosmetic dentistry, dental implants, etc. So that's what I would be doing from a navigational internal linking. But that being said, just because you've got your most profitable services in your nav bar, don't think that the internal linking for that page is done, because it's definitely not. It's a weaker link, so just remember that. Limit to 2 to 3 links per 500 words. Now, this is a little bit of a grey area. I've only recommended this because the reason why I've recommended this throughout your content, right, is because I see a lot of websites that just don't have any contextual links. So that's kind of just a rule of thumb. Like, you might want to do more, you might want to do less. Obviously, these guys, they've done way more. But that's just a rule of thumb. If you've not got any internal links or any contextual internal links, just use this as a rule of thumb. You might not even want to, like, if you've got more, obviously, by all means, do more. Use breadcrumbs for better user navigation. Now, this is a little bit more so for the bigger websites, but obviously these guys have done it. Like if I go to vape pens, if we click onto a product, like have they got? Yes, they do. So they are actually internally linking via their breadcrumbs. Again, this is kind of like the navbar links. Don't just think that because you've got the breadcrumbs, it's like your internal linking's 100% like perfect, because it's actually not. This again is a little bit more tailored towards the user. If you've got them, it's just a better user experience. Footer links include key pages like privacy and contact. Now, again, you can be a little bit more like internal linking to like pages that hold a lot of value to you. So like, for example, in this case, they've actually internal linked to their e-liquids page, classic vape kits, tanks, coils, etc., etc. So you can definitely internally link to some pages or some folder pages, for example. If we take a look here, these guys, they've not actually done any internal linking on their footer. That's fine. Like they're ranking position number 1 for New York dentists. Like what I mentioned at the start of this video, you might not need to have everything. As long as you just have good internal linking, you can get away with a lot of stuff. Again, these guys, they don't even do it that well either. But again, comes down to the size of the website. If, say, for example, you're an e-commerce store and you've got 200-300 products, you might want to do more internal linking via your footer and stuff like that. Again, if you're a bigger website, so it's another thing to actually bear in mind. Keep the number of footer links minimal and organized. Like what I mentioned with the footer, it's very similar to the navbar. So it is an actual reduced link. So let's say, for example, I'm going to make up some numbers here. It's not, these aren't the numbers, but it's a good guidance, right? So if, say, for example, contextual links, they pass, let's say, 100% power. Navbar links maybe do 25%, footer links maybe do 25% as well. So just bear that in mind when you are doing some internal links. Don't think that if you just add a couple internal links in your footer, you're going to start ranking position 1, because it's not the case. Sidebar links. Let's see if this website actually has any sidebar links. Sidebar links as well. It is very similar to the header and also the footer links. Yeah, so we've got some sidebar links here. As you can see, it goes from either left or right, but very similar case here, where if you, like, what I like to do if I am dealing with sidebar links is they've actually got a pretty decent setup, like recent posts, and they've got like their last maybe 4 or 5 posts that they've published. That being said, that sidebar links, they are not like the most powerful internal link. They're good. Don't get me wrong by any means. But again, like doing contextual links like what these guys have done here. So if I just zoom in, so they're actually internal linking to like a lot of different pages within their actual main body content, which is just this section. If I just move my face. This is the actual section of what I deem as main body content. They're doing a really good job, and that's where I would be focusing a lot of my time and effort on when it comes to internal linking. But that being said, sidebar links definitely still worth doing. Ensure relevance to the main page content. So again, this kind of depends on how big your website is. But let's say, for example, in the dentist case, right? If we actually have a blog section, which I don't think these guys do. Actually, they did have a blog section. Where was that? Patient information services. Patient education. That's what they call it. So if, say, for example, if I have maybe 10 or 15 different articles talking about cosmetic dentistry, what I would be looking to do there is internally link all those cosmetic dentistry pages to one another. There's no point that, or you're going to get more value and you're going to get better click through from one blog article to another if all of the articles are talking about a certain subject. Whereas if, say, for example, you also provide Botox, there's not really much point internally linking a cosmetic dentistry or a teeth whitening page to a Botox page. It would make more sense, for example, if you've got a page talking about the best types of teeth whitening, if you internally link that to what to eat after you've had your teeth whitening, there's more chance of somebody reading those two blogs as opposed to a teeth whitening blog and then a Botox blog. So just bear that in mind when you are structuring your internal links. You should always think about that as well. So that's so I mean when I talk about relevance, use at the end of posts to reduce bounce rates. So again, a little bit of a grey area depending on the size of your website. But what I would be doing here is, if you've got a bigger website, there's always sections like related posts, like what these guys have done. So if you've got other relevant posts, you can definitely do that. Use it at the end of the post to reduce bounce rates. Then we've got link to truly related and valuable content. So again, very, very similar stuff. Table of contents used for long form content. Now, I don't think that this website actually has table of contents. No, it's not. Do these guys have table of contents? They do not. Let me pause the video for just a second, and I will find a website that has got table of contents. So this is a website that actually does have like jump to links and stuff. And as you can see here, if I click on why trust us, obviously it internally links to the exact same article. We're not on a different article by any means, but it's just, again, like it's a jump to link. One thing to bear in mind when you are doing the jump to links, from my testing, you're actually able to get a few more snippets just by adding the actual jump to links. So if you're trying to go after like snippets and stuff like that, doing this can definitely help. I'm fairly certain there is actually just I think it's called Easy Jump To. And you can just add it, and it just adds itself to all of your blog articles and stuff like that. So just bear that in mind. I'm not entirely certain about I think it's table of contents, TOC, jump to links, WordPress plugin. Let me just, easy table of contents, that's it. So you can download this and it will actually automatically add to all of your blogs, and it helps you get some of these actual snippets in some cases as well. So if you are trying to optimize for a snippet, by all means try that as well. And then, so that's that one. Ensure anchor links are correctly set. So again, if you're using like a plugin like that, it will take care of it. If you're a developer, just make certain that you're actually copying or you're using the correct anchors and stuff like that. You've then got call to action links. Now, this isn't so much for actual SEO purposes. This is a little bit more for a CRO purpose. Now, for example, these guys, again, they've done it pretty well. Like they've got like shop vapor e-liquids as a actual call to action. They've also got different products. Now, what I would be doing is, if, say, for example, you're talking about the benefits of, let's say, teeth whitening, you can definitely have an actual button CTA within your actual blog content, and that will potentially lead to a contact form or like a booking page, and they can book in to actually get their teeth whitening done. Ensure links lead directly to the actual action page. So like what I mentioned before, in this case, they don't have they don't have a contact form. They actually have like a shop. So they're actually internally linking to their shop page or like their category page. In some cases, you might want to internally link to a contact form. In other cases, you might even want an internal link to a telephone number, and then they can literally phone you. So again, depends on the type of website. Anchor links within the same page. So use clear anchor text. I've kind of mentioned this before. Test links for correct functionality. So you should be testing your internal links. One thing you can also do as well here is you can track to see how many people actually click through to another page. So if, say, for example, you were uncertain if an internal link should be working, you can actually set up on Google Analytics and see how many people have actually clicked through to that actual page. Then we've got breadcrumb links. So again, I've already kind of mentioned this here, but one thing to bear in mind is if you do have a bigger website, if you're a smaller website, you might not need to worry about this as much. But once you get to a bigger website, like this website here, for example, if I just do a site colon and actually check how many pages that these guys actually have live. If I do tools, so they've got 15,000 pages on their website. Now, a 15,000 page website should have breadcrumbs because, again, it's just a lot easier when Google's coming to crawl your website, and it's also a lot user friendly. One thing to bear in mind when you are doing breadcrumbs, because it can get messy, is before even maybe setting up your breadcrumbs, try to actually do like a layout of how you want your pages to set up or be set up. So for example, they've got blog and they've got, let's say, I don't know, maybe 500 different blogs, and they all follow a very, very similar footprint. So it's home, blog, and then the actual title of that actual blog title. So just bear that in mind when you do have breadcrumbs. It can be a little bit messy, but if you map it out, if you actually plan it out, you shouldn't have any issues. Again, any step of these, if you guys do have any questions, head over to casualdash.com, fill out the contact form. I'm sure I'll be able to help you guys out. Homepage internal links, so link to key internal pages from the homepage. I don't see a lot of businesses doing this. Like for example, even this website here, these guys rank position 3 for dentists in New York, so their SEO campaign's doing pretty decent. But it could definitely be better. Now, one thing to bear in mind is actually they've got some internal links. One thing that I would be looking at doing is actually internally linking with the correct anchor. So for example, they've got cosmetic dental procedures, but the learn more is their actual anchor. So that's what Google thinks the page is about. Now, what I would be doing is having cosmetic dental procedures as the actual anchor through to this page. So just by tweaking that little small thing, that can definitely help big time. So let me just show you an example of this, right? So cosmetic dental procedures isn't the actual anchor that Google reads. It's actually learn more. So just by swapping that around, that can again help you. Now, what these guys do, again, going back to the vape website, so they're trying to rank this page for vape kits, and as you can see, they're actually internally linking with vape kits being the actual anchor of what Google actually reads. Highlight top categories, popular posts, or core offerings. So again, these guys do it pretty well. To be honest, these guys also do it pretty well. It's just the anchor I would be swapping out. So like, for example, these guys, the internal links are like there's top 6 or 8 different services that they actually provide. These guys, they internal link to all of their product ranges that they also provide. So both are doing a pretty decent job. It's just the anchors that I don't like on the dentistry website. Deep links for larger websites. So use deep links to guide posts, to guide users to specific valuable content. Now, deep linking is really important, especially if you have a bigger website. Like for example, if this website didn't have the eLiquids deep link here, bearing in mind they've got like 2,964 products within that category of product range. If you didn't have that, Google would be very much confused. So again, bigger websites, you might need to worry about this a little bit more. Smaller websites, maybe not so much. On a smaller range like this, for example, some websites, they have /services. So if, say, for example, you are a local business, right? You might have a services page. Now, this services page is absolutely terrible. This is probably one of the worst ones I've ever seen. But they've got like general dentistry, emergency dental, and cosmetic dentistry. Obviously, these guys provide way more services. This is probably just not an optimized page, right? But what I would be looking to do is having all of my services on the /services page. And then I could obviously internally link it from the actual nav bar and stuff. But this page is absolutely terrible. Like it's white on white text. Google's going to get confused. I'm confused. But very much so, treat it like this style of page if you're a local business, right? Now, there's nothing crazy difference about these two pages. Like, think of this as being your /services, and think of all of these as being the actual services that you provide, right? So this could be cosmetic dentistry, this could be emergency dentistry. This is what they've tried to do, but the design's a little bit bad on this. So that's what I would be doing there. Focus on linking to evergreen or high converting pages. So again, like what your main focus should be on, and I will go over that in the second part of this video where I'm doing the actual live audit. But you should actually be focusing on internally linking or doing more internal links to your high converting pages. Avoid linking solely to top level pages, e.g. dig deeper into the content. So what I mean by that is some people that search for your product or your service, they might not be ready to buy. So you might need to guide them through the actual funnel, right? So for example, if somebody is searching for when or how to get my teeth whitened, right? So that person, if you think of the actual psychology of that person, they aren't just ready to get teeth whitening now. They might want to read a couple different blogs, right? But if you internally link from that blog to the benefits of teeth whitening, and then the benefits of teeth whitening to teeth whitening in New York, right? That's how you should be doing your internal linking. So just bear that in mind. That's just a couple different examples. Category and tag links. So use category links to guide your users to topic clusters. Implement tag links carefully to avoid thin or duplicate content. So tag links, I don't see as much if I'm being honest, but I have included it in case some of you guys do have the bigger websites. Maybe some of you guys have Google News websites. So just bear that in mind, and obviously make certain that your tag pages don't just have really thin content. Hub and spoke model links. So create a hub page with links to various related spoke pages. Now, what I mean by that is this is like a hub page, and then these are all of the different spokes. If I go to, let's do lawyers in Miami. I'm certain that some of these guys will also have a similar set. If I do, this website is so slow, and they are also using AI images and stuff, which isn't an issue, but stun guns in Florida, right? Yeah, this isn't the best SEO strategy. Let's take a look at right, so this is what I would deem as being a hub page. So they've got motor vehicle cases, right? And then they've also got car accidents, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents, DUI, attorney services, Uber and Lyft, lawyer accidents, right? So these are all of the actual spoke pages. This page here, the motor vehicle cases, that's the hub, and then it's internally linking to all of the relevant actual pages. And one thing to bear in mind as well is they've actually got really good anchors here. So they're trying to rank for car accidents Miami, and they are obviously internally linking with that as well. With that actual anchor. Use hub pages to consolidate information and improve topic authority. So this is exactly what they've got. They've got a little bit of snippet of text about the actual service that they provide, and then it internally links through to that actual spoke page. And then obviously They've obviously got like a big call to action as well, which helps for conversion. Orphan page linking, so identify orphan pages with no internal links and add links to them. This is like, this should probably be like one of the first things that you actually probably do. But again, I'm going to assume that some of you guys, that you have been doing internal links, but again, we'll go into how I identify this in like probably about 4 or 5 minutes. Ensure every page has at least one link from another page. Again, that's literally just like SEO 101. Use internal links with e-commerce product pages. So we've been looking at this page, this site here. I'm going to assume that if you have a correct, well-optimized e-commerce store, you're already doing this. If not, make certain that all of your products are in a category, so at least it does have one internal link at that point. Link to related products or category pages. So what I will do here, right, is this website, it obviously internal links back up to the vape kits /mods page, so it's internal linking back up to the category. What we can also do as well is we've got related products. Now, some people, they don't like the related products, but let me tell you guys why it's important. If, say, for example, somebody was to land on this page from Google, right? If somebody was to actually Google this keyword, in some cases, e-commerce stores, they actually run out of certain products, right? So if I was to land on this page from Google, and if I was to see it's out of stock, right? The next thing that I would probably do is either scroll down to see what other related products this store has, or I would bounce back out of your website and go to one of your competitors and complete my purchase there. So just remember, having your related products, I would even probably say higher up the page than what these guys have done, because it's a little bit of a scroll. I think that it's going to, or I don't think it, I know that it definitely improves conversion rate as well. Content siloing, so group related content and link link internally within silos. So again, going back to what I was saying before, if you've got 10 articles talking about DUI lawyers, let's say, you want to internal link them all together, because a user will want to probably read 4 or 5 different blog articles and then inquire with you. Same goes with e-commerce stores. If, say, for example, you're selling mattresses, right? You might have, like, let's say 15 blog articles talking about foam memory mattresses. You want all of those to internal link. Obviously, don't force the internal links. But whenever it makes sense to internal link to, let's say, certain products or certain other blog articles, make certain that you're actually doing that. Ensure links stay within relevant silos to maintain topic relevance. Now, again, this one, a little bit of a 50-50. In some cases, it does make sense to internal link outside of your silo. So don't be afraid to internal link outside of your silo. This is a little bit of like some people disagree with me, some people agree with me. I personally, for one, I also do internal link outside of the silo if it does make sense. General best practices: regularly audit internal links for errors or updates, avoid overlinking, keep user experience in mind, and prioritize links to high value or high traffic pages. So that has been the 40-point checklist, or the 39-point checklist. Now I'm going to do the actual live audit, right? So all I've done here is, I believe this website was actually ranking position number 80 for chiropractors in New York. Now, this is a tool called Screaming Frog. Do not worry. I know it does look a little bit ugly, but I'm going to try to take the nerdiness out of it, and I'm going to try to explain it as much as I possibly can, right? So obviously all I've done here is I've just plugged in the actual URL and I've clicked start. This might take between 5 to maybe even 5 minutes, or maybe even to like an hour, depending on the size of the website. This was quite a relatively quick audit. I think it maybe took about 9 minutes. But then what we're going to do is we're going to click on HTML here, right? And as you can see, one thing that might be a little bit different from my Screaming Frog to yours is, all I've done is I've actually got unique in links as the column. It's further this way. Like, what you might just need to scroll along to actually find it. But what you'll typically find is this, or unique in links, is basically the amount of unique internal links going through to some of your pages, right? Now, this website here, it was ranking position number 85, I believe, for Chiropractors New York. Now, if we actually take a look at the actual pages here, right, a lot of these pages, they all have 39 internal links. Now, that tells me that this website, it first of all probably only has around 40 pages. That's one thing that I would probably say. And then another thing that I would also say as well is that if it all has 39 unique links, now the Screaming Frog is a little bit flawed in this case because it doesn't actually calculate this, but that just tells me that every single page on this website actually has one internal link. And I'll go into the reason as to why that is, right? So first of all, just export this. We'll call this NYMDC, right? And if I can actually spell NYMDC internal links, right? So I'm just going to copy that, or actually I'm going to import that from my desktop. So all I've done here is I've just imported it. It's, by the way, I'm still using the actual audit sheet, and I'll set up a few different filters and stuff like that as well, right? So a few things, right, that this will tell us. One thing I will do is I'll make this a little bit more pretty and easy to understand. So unique in links is probably the main thing that I'm going to be looking at. But another thing that I want to also take a look at as well, just from an SEO point of view, is the actual word count as well. So words on a page, where is it? Word count. Right, sorry. I was actually looking at it. But this will actually tell us how many words are actually on a page, and you could get a good guidance of how SEO optimized certain pages are, right? So for example, aesthetic treatments, they've got only 118 pages, and they're obviously trying to rank for aesthetic treatments in New York. So again, there's just not much content on here. I would probably add probably 400 or 500 more words to this actual page. If we take a look here, now this page here it's actually doing pretty well, but the previous page, I would obviously add a few more words to it. Now, one thing to bear in mind as well is that page here, this was the services, service category. Services. If I just click service, is that an actual page? So one thing that I would be doing is I would have breadcrumbs from all of these pages linking back to the services page, right? Because again, it's just good SEO. It's very similar to this style, right? So for example, if I click here, this is basically the service, and then this is actually this is the services silo, and this is the actual individual services that they provide. So that's one thing that I would be doing, very similar to what these guys have done. If I go to so as you can see here, you can actually internally link back to the page that we were looking at before, which was the actual site, like the hub page basically. But this is basically like a pretty bad website when it comes to internal linking, because if you think of it, right, obviously there's going to be certain services within this business that the business profits more from. And right now, when Google comes to crawl this website, it thinks that everything is the exact same in power, right? So for example, they've got 39 internal links to their contact us page, but they've also got 39 internal links to their PRP hair restoration page. Now, PRP hair restoration, they might make, let's say, $15,000 in profit, right? I've just made that figure up, but in some cases, laser therapy, they might make, let's say, $500 in profit. So you also want to tell Google from your internal linkings which are your most profitable, or which pages you care the most about. as a business, and then Google will obviously reward that. Now, let's say, for example, if their laser therapy page, right, if this had, let's say, 85 internal links, when Google comes to crawl this entire website, it will say, right, okay, this page has 85 internal links. They're all relevant. They all obviously match this tick, or some of these tick boxes. We're going to reward that page higher in the actual SERPs. So that's been my video on internal linking. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you guys do want this actual sheet, you can obviously get access to it down in the description. I hope you guys have found this useful. I know that this it's actually been a little bit of a longer video. It's closer to like 40 minutes now, but hopefully you guys have found this video useful. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the description. And as always, if you guys do want a free growth strategy call for your website, make sure to check the link down below or head over to casual-com. Thanks.